श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम्
ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सेदसादनम्
प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजनीवती
धीनामवित्रियवतु
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः
गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः।
सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्।
ॐ प्रातरग्निं प्रातरिन्द्रगुं हवामहे प्रातर्मित्रावरुणा प्रातरश्विना
प्रातर्भगं भूषणं ब्रह्मणस्पतिं प्रातः सोममुतरुद्रगुं हवेम
प्रातर्जितं भगमुग्रगुं हवेम वयं पुत्रमदितेर्यो विधर्ता
ध्रश्चिद्यं मन्यमानस्तुरश्चिद्राजा चिद्यं भगं भक्षेत्याह
प्रणेतर्भग सत्यराधो भगे मां धियमुदवदन्नः
प्रणो जनय गोभिरश्वैर्भगप्रणृभिर्नृवन्तः स्यामा
वेदानीं भगवन्तस्यामोद प्रपित्वा उत मध्ये अह्ना
चोदितामघवन् सूर्यस्य वयं देवानागुं सुमतौ स्यामा
भग एव भगवागुम् अस्तु देवास्तेन वयं भगवन्तस्यामा
वा भग सर्व इज्जो हवेमि सनो भगपुर एता भवेह
समध्वरा योषसो नमन्तदधिक्रावे वशुचये पदाय
प्राचीनं वसुविदं भगन्नो रथमिवाश्वा वाजिन आवहन्तु
अश्वावतेर्गोमतेर्न उषासो वीरवती सदमुच्छन्तु भद्रा
दुहाना विश्वतः प्रपीना यूयं पात स्वस्तिभिः सदा नः
अग्निर्नः पातु कृत्तिकाः
क्षत्रं देवमिन्द्रियम्
इदमासां विचक्षणम्
अविरासञ्जुहोतना
यस्य भान्तिरश्मयो यस्य केतवः
यस्येमा विश्वा भुवनानि सर्वा
सकृत्तिकाभिरभिसंवसानः
निन्नो देवः सुविते दधातु
प्रजापते रोहिणी वेतु पत्नी
स्वरूपा बृहते चित्रभानुः
सा नो यज्ञस्य सुविते दधातु
यथा जीवेम शरदः सवीराः
रोहिणी देव्यतगात् पुरस्तात्
स्वारूपाणि प्रतिमोदमानः
प्रजापतिगुं हविषा वर्धयन्ति
देवानामुपयातु यज्ञम्
सोमो राजा मृगशीर्षेण आगन्नो
नक्षत्रं प्रियमस्य धामा
आप्यायमानो बहुधा जनेषु
प्रजां यजमाने दधातु
यत्ते नक्षत्रं मृगशीर्षमस्ति
राजन् प्रियतमं प्रियाणा
तस्मै ते सोम हविषा विधेम
एधद्विपदेशं चतुष्पदे
आर्द्रया रुद्रः प्रथमानयेति
श्रेष्ठो देवानां पतिरग्नयाना
नक्षत्रमस्य हविषा विधेम
मानः प्रजागौरैरिषन्मोदवीरा
एते रुद्रस्य परिणो वृणक्तो
आर्द्रा नक्षत्रं जुहतागो हविर्नः
प्रमुञ्चमानो दुरितानि विश्वा
घजगो सन्नुदतामरातिम्
पुनर्नो देव्यतिथि स्पृणोतो
पुनर्वसूनः पुनरेता यज्ञम्
पुनर्नो देवा अभियन्तु सर्वे
पुनः पुनर्वो हविषा यजामः
देवान देव्यतिथिरनर्वा
विश्वस्य भर्त्री जगतः प्रतिष्ठा
पुनर्वसो हविषा वर्धयन्ति
इयं देवानामप्येतु पाथः
बृहस्पतिः प्रथमं जायमानः
नक्षत्रमभिसम्बभूव
श्रेष्ठो देवानां पृतनादु जिष्णुः
दिशो न सर्वाभयन्नो अस्तु
दिश्यः पुरस्तादुतमध्यतो नः
बृहस्पतिर्नः परिपातु पश्चात्
बाधेतान् द्वेषो अभयं कृणुता
वीर्यस्य पतयस्यामा
इदगुं सर्पेभ्यो हविरस्तु जुष्टम्
श्रेषा येषामनुयन्ति चेतः
ये अन्तरिक्षं पृथिवीं क्षियन्ते
तेन सर्पासो हवमागमिष्ठा
ये रोचने सूर्यस्यापि सर्पा
एवं देवी मनुसञ्चरन्ति
येषामाश्रेषा अनुयन्ति कामम्
तेभ्यः सर्पे देवेभ्यो मधुमज्जुहोमि
उपहूताः पितरो ये मघासो
मनोजवसः सुकृतः सुकृत्याः
तेनो नक्षत्रे हवमागमिष्ठाः
यज्ञम् प्रयतञ्जुषन्ता
ये अग्निदग्धा येनग्निदग्धा
लोकम् पितरः क्षियन्ते
यागुश्च विद्मयागुम् उच न प्रविद्मा
मघासु यज्ञको सुकृतञ्जुषन्ता
गवाम् पतिः फल्गुने नामसि त्वम्
दर्यमन्मरुणमित्रचारो
तन्त्वा वयगुम् सनितारगुम् सनीना
जीवन्तं
ये नेमा विश्वा भुवनानि सञ्जिता
देवानुसय्यन्ति चेतः
यमा राजा चरस्तु विश्वा
फल्गुनीनामृषभोरो रवीति
श्रेष्ठो देवानाम् भगवो भगासि
विदुः फल्गुनेस्तस्य वित्तात्
अस्मभ्यम् क्षत्रमजरगुम् सुवीर्यम्
गोमदश्ववदुपसन्नु देहा
भगो हदाता भगयत्प्रदाता
भगो देवीः फल्गुनीराविवेश
भगस्येत्तम् प्रसवङ्गमेमा
यत्र देवैः सधमादम् मदेमा
आयातु देवः सविदोपयातु
पुण्ययेन सुवृता रथेन
वहनु हस्तगुम् सुभगम् विद्मनापसम्
प्रयच्छन्दम् पपुरिम् पुण्यमच्छा
हस्तः प्रयच्छत्वमृतम् वसीयः
दक्षिणेन प्रतिगृह्णेम एनतो
दातारमद्य सविता विधेया
यो नो हस्ताय प्रसुवाति यज्ञम्
त्वष्टा नक्षत्रमभ्येति चित्रा
सदयुवतिगुं रोचमाना
निवेशयन्नमृतान् मर्त्यागुश्च
रूपाणि पिगुंसन् भुवनानि विश्वा
नस्त्वष्टा तु चित्रा विचष्टा
नक्षत्रम् भूरिदा अस्तु मह्यम्
तन्नः प्रजाम् वीरवते गुंसनोतो
गोभिर्नो अश्वैः समनक्तु यज्ञम्
वायुर्नक्षत्रमभ्येति निष्ट्या
शृङ्गो वृषभोरोरुवानः
समीरयन् भुवनामातरिष्वा
द्वेषागुंसनु ददामराति
तन्नो वायुस्तदनिष्ट्या शृणोतु
नक्षत्रम् भूरिदा अस्तु मह्यम्
तन्नो देवासो अनुजानन्तु कामम्
यथा तरे मधुरितानि विश्वा
दूरमस्मच्छत्रवो यन्तु भीता
इन्द्राग्ने कृणुतान् तद्विशाखे
तन्नो देवा अनुमदन्तु यज्ञौ
पश्चात् पुरस्तादभयन्नो अस्तु
नक्षत्राणामधिपत्नी विशाखे
श्रेष्ठाविन्द्राग्ने भुवनस्य गोपौ
विशोचशत्रो न बबाधमानौ
अपक्षुधन्नु ददामरातिम्
अर्ध्वा पश्चात् पूर्णा पुरस्तादो
मध्यतः पौर्णमासीति गाया
तस्यान् देवाधिसम्वसन्तः
तमेन कह्यमादयन्त
पृथ्वी सुवर्चा युवतिः सजोषाः
पौर्णमास्युदगाच्छोभमाना
आप्यायन्ति दुरितानि विश्वा
यजमानाय यज्ञम्
आशास्तेयं यजमानोऽसौ
आयुराशास्ते
प्रजास्त्वमाशास्ते
सजातवनश्यामाशास्ते
उत्तरान् देवयज्ञामाशास्ते
भूयो हविष्करणमाशास्ते
दिव्यं धामाशास्ते
विश्वं प्रियमाशास्ते
यतनेन हविषाशास्ते
तदस्यात्तदर्थ्यात्
तस्मै देवारासन्ता
निर्देवो देवेभ्यो वनते
वयमग्नेर्मानुषाः
च वेदञ्च
उभे जनोद्या वा पृथिवी अगुंहदस्पादा
गतर्वामस्येदञ्च
नमो देवेभ्यः एतत्सामगायन्नास्ते हा वोहा वोहा ओ अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्श्लोककृदहग्श्लोककृदहग्श्लोककृदो अहमस्मि प्रथमजारदास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य न भाहि यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वः अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम् सुवर्णज्योति य एवं वेद శతమానం భవతి శతాయుః పురుషస్యేంద్రియ ఆయుష్యేవేంద్రియే ప్రతిష్టతి ఆయుష్మంతం వర్చస్వంతం అథో అధిపతిం విశాం అస్యాః పృథివ్యా అధ్యక్షం ఇమమింద్రవృషభం కృణో రోచనో రోచమానః శోభనః శోభమానః కళ్యాణః. ఓం యాః ఫలనిర్యాఫలాస్వాయాశ్చ పుష్పిణీః బృహస్పతి ప్రసూతాస్తానో ముञ्चत्वగుంహసః ఫలం మనోరథ ఫలం
పుత్రపౌత్ర ప్రవర్ధనం యస్మాత్ తస్మాత్ శుభం మే స్యాదతః శాంతిం ప్రయచ్చ మే.
ఫలదాన సంపూర్ణ సకల ఫలావాప్తిరస్తు. అయం ముహూర్తః సుముహూర్తోస్తు. సమారంభోదితాయ
పురుషస్యేంద్రియ ఆయుష్యేంద్రియే ప్రతిష్టతి.
ప్రతిష్టతి. వెల్కమింగ్. స్వాగతం. Good morning. Pranam, Namaste, Abhivat, Shubhoday, Swagat. Today is the third day in the series of expressing the gratitude to the traditions that they contributed enormously. Yoga is all about the change of expression of positiveness, expression of gratitude, Guru Shishya Parampara, and honoring the traditions. Since the ages, from the rishis and munis, that's how the traditions are preserved, and now the present upkeepers of the institutions are the most important. Any yoga tradition, it is maintained because any temple is maintained, any church is maintained, any mosque is surviving because there is someone to take care of it. These are the institutions of excellence in yoga. They continue to survive because there is someone to take care of it. Those who take care of it, it's our responsibility to honor them, and that too, those institutions from where we get benefited. So, Prahlada Acharya is from Nayar Dam. We had yesterday, the day before, so the director of the Nayar Dam, and today we have Chief Executive Officer, the one who well traveled across the world. And I heard that he too initiated directly by the Swami Vishnu Devananda. Perhaps my acquaintance, I'm not sure whether I'm older than him or not. It was in 1977, my initiation by the Vishnu Devananda Swami Maharaj. It so happened, as I told, he was about to establish, so a small ashram kind of thing in Uttarakashi on the Ganges, on the bank of the Ganges. He was on that mission, he was in the Rishikesh at that time. And many Swamijis were there in Rishikesh ashram of the Shivananda. So it was a summer season, so that there was a course going on. 2 months course is going on. So he happened to be there. He was asked to initiate. So that's how the initiation went on. Very prolific teacher, and he is the one. So initiated me, and as I explained to you, it was about almost 2 hours by the time I opened my eyes. He sent me back. He said he is not going to stay here, but he said, don't stop your journey here. So he advised me to go to Satchidananda Saraswati Bihar School of Yoga. And from there, so there is no looking back, from Bihar School of Yoga, Satchidananda Saraswati Maharaj at that time was writing Tantra Volume 1, Tantra Volume 2, and the books of the dynamics of yoga. Very prolific way of explaining how the Yoga Nidra leads to the Samadhi, 7 stages of the Yoga Nidra. As a Samadhi of the Tantric, it is a Tantra technique, it is. He is expertise in Tantra. From there he sent me to Sankhya school in Bihar. That's called Kapilashram, run by Hariharananda, Swami Hariharananda, the oldest institution. That institution was almost referred, so as they tell even today, that institution, the place, is actually of the Kapila Mahamuni. And the Kapila, so where actually the Buddha himself came down to practice the 8th Samadhi under the Alara Kalama. So after 6th Samadhi of Uddaka Ramaputra, Alara Kalama. Alara Kalama is from Kapilashram, from Bihar. So that is a place. So from where actually this tradition, the time immemorial, it's continuing. Not many in India know the Sankhya school and the practicing school that was existing. So, and he is the first one to write actual Bhashya on the Patanjali Yoga Sutra as based on the Vyasa Bhashya. So the authentic English translation on the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, written way back in 1920s and 30s, published maybe much later. So also, so same way, so Prahlada Acharya, the one who is the present chief executive, is a chosen one. Understand, these are the ones, chosen ones to represent the institutions. Yoga is all about chosen ones. And for being chosen, one has to be grateful. For being chosen to serve, the one who has that gratitude, he continues to serve Nishkama Karma Yoga without any expectation. And Karma Phala Sannyasa Yoga, what we get there is nothing. There's a good or bad. In serving is always ups and downs are going to be there. They are the people who blame you. They are the people who praise you. There is no whatever the gain or a loss. The one who renounces completely is called a karma phala sannyasa yoga. Both are very, very important for anyone in the service of yoga. Maybe you are a yoga teacher. You are in the service of yoga. These are the success principles in the life. Working without expectation. And whatever in turn we get, not enjoying the fruits of it, good or a bad. So these are the two aspects of living healthy. Karma yoga, fundamental principle. So also they are in the service of, so rendering the service. Given a chance, so chosen ones to serve. They continue because they serve better. The intuitions grow. The traditions are kept intact. That's the most important. As the ages pass by, as the yoga is getting diluted, the spirit, yoga is all about upkeeping what yogis discovered. There's nothing that Krishna himself, Buddha himself, they said that they only discovered it, and there's nothing to invent. If someone says, I invented something in yoga, it works in this way, so there's nothing to invent in yoga. Everything is a discovery of the yogis. Again and again the truth is discovered as laid down by the rishis and the munis. Again given back to us what is discovered. And each one of us have to discover that reality as laid down, the path laid down by those rishis and munis. So, yes, so many years of service and he is well appreciated. And so much appreciation he gets everywhere, wherever they go. Because of Vidwan, Sarvan, Bhushayate, wherever a person with the wisdom goes, he earns appreciation. He is respected by his wisdom, not by his form or his stature, because he represents an intuition. The respected yogi is respected by his wisdom, his presence of mind. So, here is the one who has been serving Nayar Dam, the intuition of aptly named by Vishnu Devananda. That is the place where 6 temples of Dhanvantari exist. That is the place where actually Ayurveda still survives, a branch of Ayurveda. The therapeutic aspect of Ayurveda, both like in yoga we have panchakarmas, we have shatkriyas and shatkarmas. We call shatkriyas, they call it as shatkarmas. And the same methodology they call Ashtanga Hridaya, we call Ashtanga Yoga. And the panchakarmas, shatkriyas, because for us to be healthy, so cleansing is a very important. The one who is proficiently contributed in terms of bringing back the hidden truths of the ancient texts is on my left side, Mr. Garote. When he speaks, I will give his introduction and my association with his father. But so he is representing my guru, Mr. Manohar Garote from Lonavala, and he is representing the tradition of my first guru, Vishnu Devananda Swami Maharaj. And all the disciples of Shivananda are my gurus. Each one of them preserved a kind of the technology. And as Shivananda has given them the liberty to explore, so they went on exploring that particular domain as Vishnu Devananda given the principles of 5, exploring them at, so at physical level and at astral level, causal level or Annamaya Kosha level. And the methodology is simple methodology laid down so that everyone can get benefited. Truly speaking, Nayar Dam is the most economy in international phenomena, scenario. So a tradition that is representing since the 1926 and still continue to serve at that cost of training the teachers for 2 months. At that cost, that's why it is very dear to many foreign students, because it's affordable for them. That's the most important. And they can understand the 2 months methodology. It's not like a 1 week training. It's a 2 months, a completely very well structured training program, so that the one who are serving it, the one who are administering it, the one who are training those teachers are adorable, admirable. Namo Namaha. So similarly, so both are here. So now is the time for Prahlada Acharya to talk about, so he represents the tradition, because as I told, Rishikesh is the place. All those Kailas ashram yesterday, the Peethadipati, Swami Vivekananda, every tradition that today is a famous spiritual tradition, it comes from Kailas ashram, including Swami Shivananda, including Swami Vishnu Devananda to Swami Satchitananda to Swami Anandananda to Brahmananda to Abhedananda to of the Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, to everyone. If they have to study Vedas, if they have to study Sanskrit grammar, that is very much in the Munikireti, and this ashram is in the Munikireti Shivananda ashram. Much later Shivananda constructed, inspired by, actually encouraged by the same spirit of the Kailas ashram. There are the 3 very good centers in Rishikesh. One is, so Anandamayi, one is Kailas ashram, the most oldest institution there. And next is Shivananda ashram. And another one, there are many started later, like Swargadam, and those who educated from Kailas ashram also started their Swargadam, etc. Very proficient place it is. The village Kangal and the people's enlightenment, and the Veda ashram spruced up, restoring the legacy of the Rama. Rama stayed there in the Rishikesh. And so Rama Stotra, Ganga Dharana is very famous. Ganga Stotra is very famous, as explained by the Rama to his favorite disciple, the one who is raiding his chariot. And so that night he stayed at Rishikesh on the banks of the full moon, on the banks of the Ganges. And Lord Rama was explaining the beauty, the greatness of the Rishikesh, the greatness of the Ganges, from the time immemorial, flowing from the Shiva period. So beautifully explained how the fauna and flora of the Rishikesh forest, and how those waters illumined by the full moon night. How many rishis, how many saints, how many sadhus, and how many munis. So those waters served, those institutions served, those forests served. From Sanaka Muni to Sanakadi Mahamuni to Shaukadi Mahamuni, how many gods, how many angels, how many times Narada came there, how many times they had the conversations. Such is the place, and that is called gateway. So subsequently Haridwar, the gateway to the abode of the Gangotri, and subsequently to the Kailash also the route exists there, but most difficult route. So now is the time to remember those gurus, those lineages. If we don't express our gratitude to them, what are we? Where is yoga? Tell me. So now I request so today's topic to be initiated, and whatever comes from them, understand. But as Patanjali says, as yesterday Swamiji is telling, Vijayaranya Swamiji, the Dwadasha, 12th pontiff, not 22nd pontiff, 12th pontiff. My guru was 10th pontiff, Vijayaranya Swamiji of Kailas ashram. As he was explaining, Shankaracharya is all about Aparokshanubhuti, the most authentic. 2 texts of Aparokshanubhuti in Kailas ashram that teaches 2. Aparokshanubhuti, number 1, means direct experience. That is, yoga is all about direct experience. Then only you will understand. And yoga is all about Viveka Khyati Jnana. It is all about Viveka Chodamani. These are the most adored texts of the Shankaracharya. So when they talk about, apart from the Bhashya Sutra and apart from the, so Darshana, Sutra is Brahma Sutra, so they comprehend all the darshanas. Gita is a Bhagavad Gita. Mahaprasthanatraya, as I was telling you. The abode of the Mahaprasthanatraya is the Kailasa Ashrama. It is only the Brahma Vidyadipita for last 142 years, started by an enlightened person. So all these dynasties, now the institutions, their gurus come from the same place, Arisans. Everyone inspired. They came back to Lonavala, they started it. Swami Kuvalayananda, and with the senior assistants like Garote, Manohar Garote's contribution. How close he is to the spirit of Kuvalayananda, everyone knows. And similarly, Vishnu Devananda's spirit is very dynamic, very dynamic. Whomever he chooses also dynamic, now you will see here. So a person representing Vishnu Devananda Maharaj, everyone serving, representing that same lineage. Yes, please, let's start.
Om Namah Shivaya. We are honored to be here this morning. Just to introduce our tradition. Our teacher Swami Vishnu Devananda at a very young age, he started his journey and he wanted to find the truth. Then he went and met Master Swami Sivananda, who is well established by then in Divine Life Society, as Dr. Kumar was explaining. And our teacher, during his time in the ashram, he was very keen on Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga. And seeing his keenness, Master Swami Sivananda had many disciples. His contemporaries are Swami Chidananda, Swami Madhavananda, Swami Krishnananda. All these are like stalwarts now in the yoga field. And everybody's intention is to keep the tradition intact and the teachings intact, and to teach those teachings coming from the Upanishads in its purity. So that was their intention. And Swami Sivananda was a great master, and he had many disciples, and he let them grow in each direction, whatever that they are inclined to. Okay, so Swami Chinmayananda took the path of Bhagavad Gita, Swami Krishnananda took the path of philosophy. He is one of the greatest Jnana Yogi. And Swami Chidananda was more into administration. He was quite exponent in yoga philosophy. And our teacher Swami Vishnu Devananda was quite dynamic, as Dr. Kumar was telling. And he also comes from a military background actually. Prior to coming to Swami Sivananda, he was in military. And there he found a quite inspiring words by Swami Sivananda, where it says that an ounce of practice is worth tons of theory. And that inspired our teacher. He went and met Master, and I am very surprised actually to see that Dr. Kumar was actually initiated in 1977, which was the time actually Swami Vishnu Devananda was still in very active in the Divine Life Society, traveling and coming back, etc. And I am very fortunate actually to meet Dr. Kumar today. Even though I am in the organization for many years, I did not have the opportunity to meet him. And I really appreciate what he is doing, keeping all the traditions alive and bringing the traditions together, which is one of the way of Swami Sivananda's teachings actually. So our teacher Swami Vishnu Devananda was the first Hatha Yoga professor in the Divine Life Society. And even though he knows 4 paths of yoga, his interest mainly on the Hatha Yoga, but not the physical what we see today, to bring everything in a more traditional way and according to scriptures. So today, by sitting here, I will never say that Swami Vishnu Devananda invented something. He just made sure the tradition is followed properly, and today, that's why today we have the strongest organization with over 60,000 teachers imparting this knowledge to many that are in need. And Swami Vishnu Devananda started his journey. Swami Sivananda just gave him 10 rupees and he told him to just go and teach yoga. And he started his journey starting like in Sri Lanka, Singapore, Malaysia, teaching people, and where he collects some donations, go to the next destination. And after many years, Swamiji actually told us that in yoga, when you teach, it's not what you know, it's what students need. I think that made the organization, what we call it now, Sivananda Yoga Vedanta Centers and Ashrams now, very prominent, because yoga can be quite, it's like a muddled subject actually. Very pure subject. It's been presented by many teachers with lack of understanding, you may say, or lack of practice, you may say, in a way that a normal person cannot approach very easily. And our teacher Swami Vishnudananda made sure you continue with your daily karma, whatever that you need to do, but you embrace the yoga in a way that it will be beneficial to you, so that you can take this so-called suffering away from the mundane life. What is suffering? Suffering is nothing but the ignorance basically. When you don't know what is outside of you, you suffer quite a bit. So our teacher really believed with yoga and meditation, if we teach a person how to see within and to understand better themselves, and when they look outside, they'll be able to see things more clearly. And that is the solution for taking the suffering away. And our teacher arrived in America actually first, and then he established his first yoga center in New York. And at that time, being the first teacher bringing the yoga to the West, he was very popular and classes were like well received. And after the first 6 months, he realized that he need to leave America because of the visa situation. Then someone said, go to Canada, where like the visa was much more easier. So Swamiji went to Canada and he established his first yoga center. I'm sharing all this, maybe some of you are there yoga teachers and some of you are like, true seekers. Most of the time in yoga, if we want to find the truth or if we are seeking the truth, it takes a lot of perseverance and a lot of practice and a lot of patience. And our teacher had it. And when he came to Montreal and he established a yoga center there, and I was told at that time there were like people standing in like several blocks actually, several streets waiting to get into his class there. And there he did not see these people are coming and I have more students, etc. He just saw there is a lot of suffering and I need to find the ways to take it away. And the city center, as doctor is doing here, probably like from yesterday I'm meeting like a lot of students who says that once when I met my guru and my life is changed. Like entire Hyderabad, like whoever that I met so far, they're just saying how Dr. Kumar's teachings impacted them and how they changed their lifestyle and how they are more happy now. And similarly, our teacher also had many students, they were all coming, and as the city center is growing, he also saw in the weekends people are not there. So then he started like taking a car and going with all the cars that are going out of city, and he realized people are just actually trying to get out from this busy schedule of the city and wanted to go a little bit into the mountains or out of the city there. And Swamiji realized I need to actually bring the yoga where people are going, and he bought a piece of land outside Montreal and he established a beautiful center there, or ashram there. And there actually he realized that there is something that he can offer more. So far people are coming for an hour or 2 hours in the city center, but then Swamiji realized that they are with him for 2 or 3 days. Then he started teaching more yoga philosophy, which is very, very important, which is the foundation, than just doing the physical yoga asanas. Even though Swamiji was teaching more traditionally, he just felt that people learning more meditation, more advanced Raja Yoga, more advanced Jnana Yoga will be very helpful. Then he created a program called Yoga Vacation. That's what Dr. Kumar was saying, that the ashram that we have in India, which we call it like headquarters for India, it has many foreigners, many Indians coming, mainly because of the Yoga Vacation program. What is Yoga Vacation program? You normally come away from your office, come away from home, you just stay in an ashram environment with like-minded people. And as you stay, there is a strict discipline that is followed, getting up early morning 5:30 and going until like night 10 o'clock, doing a lot of yoga asanas, meditation and learning the yoga philosophy. That also went very successfully until like 1970s. Then Swamiji saw there is more too, because people are coming and they were finding their peace, and he said, I need to create something more. And then he had the vision, people are running away from a fireball, and he saw like it's all mainly due to the conflicts in this world. People and countries are quarreling with each other without understanding we're all one. And Swamiji said, I need to start the teachers training course. And when he started the teacher training course, he said it's not a course that where people get the certificate and they start teaching. This is a course where I am going to create the peacemakers. A person who goes through the discipline in a course like teacher training course, they will be able to find the peace within, and that peace they will be able to give it to others there. And Swamiji had this vision of saying that we are all one. Doesn't matter which country we come from, which religion we belong to, whether we are poor, whether we are rich. The essence of all our existence is being together. And he did a lot of peace missions, flying over the troubled spots where there is conflicts, telling the people that united we live, divided we perish. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And he was constantly like dynamically working towards imparting the true knowledge of the yoga, and how it can be integrated into the daily lives without actually leaving and running away from to Himalayas or like some secluded places to find the peace. Rather, if you are a practitioner, if you can inspire your families, if you can inspire your office members to embrace the same practice, we can all live in harmony, we can all live in what you call peace. And he put tremendous amount of effort, and he took a lot of strain of traveling to different places and teaching different cultures, etc. This afternoon probably we'll talk more about how Swami Sivananda approached the yoga and how Swami Vishnudevananda. But now I wanted to speak a little bit more about what is yoga. Yoga is nothing but the union. When we say the philosophical side of it, it can get a little bit like not approachable, where they say yoga is the union of the individual soul with the Supreme Soul. It's quite a word that basically it's difficult for a normal person who is in the mundane life to understand. But Swamiji said yoga is the union between the mind and body. As we see practically, morning when we want to wake up, mind says get up, body says no. And during day many times, maybe the body is ready, mind is not reacting, mind is ready, body is not reacting. And our teacher said, if you are practicing meditation and the yogasanas combined with the pranayama and having proper relaxation, one can easily achieve that state where we call it as the peace. It doesn't matter what kind of lifestyle they have, they need to perform their duties. This Swamiji really believed in this, because everyone has the karma. Actually, when many people come to see Swamiji and they wanted to renounce everything, he always used to ask, what is your karmic duties? And if they say that I do have the duties of taking care of children or taking care of mother, father, he says first go on, complete it. He was a very, very practical teacher actually. And then he used to give them the tools. You can continue doing what you're supposed to do, and then you can still practice yoga, and you can still maintain your health in a good condition, and you can still find the peace within. So the entire yoga philosophy, which is very complex, we simplified saying health is wealth, peace of mind is happiness. Yoga shows the way through proper exercise, which is yoga asanas, which comes purely from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, a scripture that has been practiced for more than 4,000 years that we know, and which has the tremendous amount of knowledge to awaken the Kundalini and to give us the siddhis, and to give us more clarity on what is mind and what is body and how to combine them. Then he goes on to the next subject, which is also coming from the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. he says the next point is the proper breathing. The moment when we learn how to breathe properly, most of the issues are solved automatically. The mind is directly connected with the breathing there. And Swamiji brings this ancient knowledge, which can be very dangerous, but when it is put in a perspective where it can be practiced very carefully with proper guidance, it can become a very, very powerful tool. Pranayama, if you see now modern days, many people embrace the pranayama, and pranayama requires kind of requisitions like having a proper diet and having proper relaxation. It can become like a very, very powerful tool. Yogasanas works on the endocrine system and pranayama works on the nervous system. So Swamiji really believed that pranayama is really helpful to people. Even though he is a master of most advanced practices, I think one of the other teachers that I know who is exponent in the pranayama practice is Swami Satyananda Saraswati of Bihar School of Yoga. But our teacher knows all those pranayama techniques, but he gave them in a very safe way that people can practice. Only that much they should practice without disturbing their lifestyle there. Then he went on to say the next point as the proper relaxation. What is proper relaxation? If we look at our lifestyle now, we are running. We don't know why. Most of the time we say it's my duty to run. But Swamiji said, if you learn the Savasana properly, even though you have a busy life, you always need to empty that mind. It's like a recycling. In 10 minutes you can have the proper relaxation, both for body, mind and beyond. So he said that he called that as the Savasana. Then he went on a little bit because he saw the people's lifestyle, especially in the West where the food is not at all even people pay some attention to. Okay, so talking while eating and eating whatever that is there, not watching. So he said proper diet is the fourth point. We are what we eat. Whatever that we eat is how we react. So he did not change like saying that you cannot eat this, you cannot eat that, etc. Rather he gave some principles like how we can take the food in a proper way that becomes more beneficial for our system. So we talk about proper exercise, proper breathing, proper relaxation, proper diet. If we have all these four, it's easy for us to get into positive thinking and meditation, which is the fifth point. So we have four paths of yoga. Whoever is the teacher, they go into Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja Yoga and Jnana Yoga. He took all four paths of yoga and he put into these 5 points, which is very practical for the people. As I am saying to you, anybody who listen to this, you get inspired just saying that, oh, yoga is this simple, I can practice. And that's how he bring the teachings into these 5 points. And then he created the courses like advanced teacher training course, sadhana intensive course, where he started giving more knowledge of the Vedanta. All these courses, as you grow, as you develop interest, as you are getting the benefits, they are all good. But he always believed it's not the courses what is important. It is like how you react with others, how you see the same God what you see inside, outside in other people. And the teachings continued in such a way. Today, our teacher left his body in 1993. It's almost like close to 30 years now. Every ashram, every center functions the same way. And there are many affiliated centers coming. It's not the number of centers we are looking at. It's not the number of people that are coming to the center. It's like how these teachings made a great impact. And being his senior disciple, I had some experiences which I wanted to share with you. And Swamiji sent me once in 1989. There was a centennial hospital that is being built in Patamadai, in Swami Sivananda's place. The intention of the hospital is to give the medical services to nominal price or free to many villagers who cannot afford. And at that time, actually, many of the other disciples of Swami Sivananda happened to come to attend that program there. So what I say is that every one of them who is exponent in their field, they called me and I went to offer the flowers and whatever the, the things that Swamiji sent to just offer our gratitude and offer our respect to them. From each person, what I heard really changed my attitude towards my guru or my attitude towards the teachings. Is each person, they said, we are all sitting here in Himalayas and we are trying to impart the knowledge, and people always need to come to us. But whereas your teacher, our Guru Bhai, he traveled everywhere. For every tradition, every language, or every person that wherever they come from, be it be Russia, be it be Iran, be it be Israel, where the religion is a problem there, and your teacher went far, to away to all these places, and he started teaching, and we're very, very happy that he is the one that who is representing Swami Sivananda, and who taught all this, and it was very moving for me to listen to those words, because until then my teacher was always going to the Divine Life Society, and being the Guru Bhais, they always have this thing, you are sitting here and doing like a lot of practices, and master asked me to go everywhere, and I'm just like running, and I want to find some peace, and I want to establish myself in Himalayas, which Dr. Kumar actually rightly said that in 1970 Swamiji tried to establish a place in Himalayas. It did not work out. Then he started in south, but in 1992 he did establish a place in Netala. But anyway, coming back to our subject, and Swamiji had this thing saying that my Guru Bhais are doing like good practice sitting in Himalayas, but all the Guru Bhais appreciated his efforts of going to different places. And when our teacher actually established the places, one of the things that he made sure that everybody is included into the practice. And I was actually surprised, being very young and traveling with him and going there and seeing, suddenly in an ashram, there is a rabbi coming and speaking about yoga, and there is a Christian monk coming and speaking about the yoga, and there is Sunni saints, they're coming and talking about the yoga there. So Swamiji always said that every religion teaches only one thing: being together, and feeling as one. But the religious leaders probably changed, and then they created all these differences with people, but we are all one. And as we go into this modern world where we see yoga is put completely into a different perspective, whenever the yoga word is mentioned, people just go into this physical yoga asanas. And our teacher really believed that is only a part of it, and they are not physical asanas, and they are more scientific. And if a person is able to practice this Hatha Yoga practice in a way, it becomes much more powerful meditation than the Raja Yoga. He really believed the Hatha Yoga practice leads one to Raja Yoga, and this morning I just wanted to pray all of you, please understand that. Okay, yoga is not something just you do like a physical exercise. That's a part, of course, you can keep the physical body more supple, but it goes beyond that, because in yoga there is a big difference between the physical exercise and yoga. In physical exercise, the exercise is limited to only physical body, but in yoga, exercise goes and combine that physical body with the mind, and most of the time we live in the duality where thinking mind is separate from the body, and the actual yoga practice is to bring that mind and body together. If we are able to achieve that, we can be very peaceful, very pleasant in our family, with our children, with our families, and we can be very pleasant with whatever the work what we do. It can be a work where you're going to the office, or it can be a work where you are discovering something. Whatever that you're doing, you can always feel pleasant. And our teacher Swami Vishnudevananda said one of the important thing. It's not like how you practice yoga. It's like how you remember an entire day that you are practicing yoga. That's very, very important. Karmically what happens, we plan our day, and when we go out, nothing goes according to our plan. And at that time, by remembering, this morning I practiced for half an hour, 1 hour, or 2 hours, it always makes you feel better saying, I practiced, others did not practice, let me develop patience. Let me develop understanding of listening to the people and do the best that I can do. For this, you don't need to be a yoga teacher. This practice is what we teach is exactly just to make a person to understand who they are, so that they will be able to understand everything outside there. Okay, so with that I just wanted to conclude, and I thank for the opportunity that Dr. Kumar gave us. And this afternoon we try to establish this subject in a way that we just show why Master Swami Sivananda put yoga in a way that everybody can embrace, rather than just restricting it to a religion or a sect there. That we talk this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Prahalad. That is yes, experience. So you can see the entire, so it is not a discourse, it is an experience. That's what Prahalad shared today. So it is all of us, what we share is our experience. His experience with the Guru, his experience with the teachings, what inspired him to serve, what he heard from Krishnananda, Swami Chidananda, to everyone about him. Because when you look at Swami Shivananda's very broad, such a kind of broad thinking, broad based, what, see, entire yoga is to open the mind. I don't think, so you are lucky if you have come in contact for the first time with the Shivananda tradition, because it opens your vistas, beyond caste, creed, religion, gender. It takes you beyond. It makes you feel you are comfortable. You are eligible to practice yoga. You are very comfortable, and it is possible actually to practice in day-to-day life, and it is helpful to you. There is a feeling, because the entire poetry of Shivananda Swami Maharaj you take, and so he himself encouraged Vishnudevananda Maharaj to go abroad. As I was telling yesterday, so as Buddha says, go out in all the directions to spread. None of Shivananda Maharaj students have done that, but the very dynamite and very dynamic, very flamboyant and very mixing, socializing, as I always say, whether we are progressing in yoga or not is only known by Vasudhaika Kutumbam, whether entire world, whether we are treating as, world as a family, so that indicates the transformation in us, that thinks that, so we have become selfless, we are connecting with the entire world. So the ability to love everyone like our own family member, when entire world becomes our family, so if I ask you where you are going, oh, I'm going on this vacation, going back home to see my family. There's a joy in you. So for a yogi, anywhere, everywhere, so he is his home. You are at home. Tadha drashtu swarupe avasthanam. A yogi, wherever he is at home. That's what Vishnudevananda Maharaj, whether he went to Israel, whether he went to any, in the war zones, and he has driven his own, chartered flight. So now you are thinking the modern gurus, but, you name the dynamic activity under the Shivananda, you name a philosophy, you name spiritual aspect, so Hatha Yoga aspect, everything is there. But the most important is balanced. So as Vishnudevananda Swami Maharaj has balanced the just 12 postures. It's not that a formula, but what is possible for you. Standing postures, sitting postures, prawn postures, and so inversions. So that can take care of from bottom to top. Based on the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. Hatha Yoga Pradipika, very first look itself will tell. This entire thing is like a ladder for you to practice, enable you to practice. Hatha Yoga is not the end, but it is only a beginning. Gateway to the Raja Yoga, as he said. So as given by Yoga Yajnavalkya, from Yajnavalkya to down to the Patanjali. So, but it is practically the method laying down, and that gives the fruits here and now, immediately. That is what impresses the people. So that's what made Vishnudevananda Swami Maharaj very famous world over. So world over. He is the first one, even before Iyengar and Krishnamacharya tradition, so Patabi Joys and in fact, so the Iyengar yoga took over, but frankly speaking, much more socializing is the Hatha Yoga everyone in the West. All his centers are already now very well known in Europe you take and everywhere you take. The Shivananda centers are known. All of you will say, are you writing your gratitude messages? You already went because since yesterday I have been talking about. So talking about Vishnu, yes, I went to the ashram. So they're talking in Switzerland, from Europe. People are writing, I had been to this ashram, I had been to this. I got benefited. It's a very great privilege to see, so understand. So for you to accept our invitation, we feel honored. And it is like meeting, the same Guru. And when we meet, it's all to get connected, So it is, the heart flows out in gratitude, So those Gurus and who are representing that, maintaining that. And so it is the legacy of the Swami Shivananda Maharaj and the Hatha Yoga, the mind and body connection, So the most important is, so the establishing the methodology and practicing and training the teachers. It's not easy. You have been going through the schedules like morning to evening. It is not that, So how yoga is helping you? So way of life. Yoga is a way of life. That's what Swami Shivananda, simple principles of enjoying the life. It is not to be secluded, not to go into the seclusion, not to escape from the world. So that is not the way Shivananda promoted for the fact, so that, and that really made possible by Vishnudevananda Swami Maharaj, So I'm incredibly grateful because the later years, to reach Vishnudevananda, he is not in the country, first of all, so most of the time he is in abroad, encouraged, so few people lucky, they're associated, they're carrying the mission, he deserves 100% because that's why he chosen one to serve. Such a people, when they educate, it is a neural coupling or cellular coupling, the most modern science talks about. When he talks to the students, coming for the training, when he is training the students, what flows through him is cell coupling, neural coupling automatically takes place. It's like a story. It is no more like a philosophy, it is no more like a teaching, but it is like a story. So that the student get inspired by the experience of the Guru. Experience with his Guru. All that he spoke is experience. And Patanjali talks about only experience. Pramana is all about, so first is experience, aparokshanubhuti, experience. Prachakshanumana agama pramanani. If we only know pramana, no one can cheat us. If we only know the standard, and from where to go to know the standard, is it a book, or is it a person who expounds at the understanding level, or is it experience? No, it is not other way around like the modern sciences start. First agama, then anumana, then pratyaksha. It is reverse. It is the pratyaksha, anumana. Once you practice, you understand it. And then you will be able to express it. That is the most important. Yoga is all about experiencing it, pratyaksha. So all that we went in search of Guru is the one who experienced it. Yoga is all about to hear from a Guru, not to read a book, but it is to hear from a Guru. That's the most important. Shruta Sampradaya, that's the most important. Why I brought them here is not that you can't read the book, but the sound, so of his association, so the Prahlada Acharya's association, the Swamiji too, and teaching to thousands of students passing out, the heart swelling in gratitude, and the happiness like the children, when you send them off successfully, batch to batch when you send them off, your heart fills in gratitude. And what he speaks, every word will have that positiveness in that. So that influences you, that brings transformation in you. An experienced one tells you, you will experience it, you will get inspired by it. That's the most important. So why we have to bring here, why we feel honored their presence, because They speak their association directly with their Guru and their whole journey. Every word of them talks about their mind, body, soul, everything. That is the sound coming from them. What is preserved, I always say, the Vedas or the yoga. How the yoga is preserved? Only sound. It is only Shruta Sampradaya. It is never scripture is Sanskrit, language has come much later. It is a Brahma, Vidya, it is the Brahmi Lipi is all spoken language between the community in the Kruta Yuga. It is a language between the gods and humans. The only language common is the language of consciousness, the language of connecting. Sanskrit is a culture. Sanskriti is a culture. The one who cultured, when he speaks, he connects. I brought them because they have cultured, they have cultivated this kshetra, they have cultivated for over a period of 20, experienced farmer is. Like Krishna is explaining Arjuna, Bahuda, Vividha, Pratak, whatever the way you explain, every yogi, whether muni, it is exploration, it is plowing the field, a farmer knows. So how the weeds are out, how a crop off, so which fields has to be cultivated, like a yogi, and is cultivating this field, Desha Bandha Chitta Sadhana. So the cultivated one, the cultured ones speak, in agriculture, a farmer who day and night, so no agriculture, he can explain you. A graduate from agricultural college cannot explain you. A farmer, who is worked in the seasons, day and night, in the rains and in the summer, in the hot summer, the one who knows plowing, the difficulties in plowing, in balancing his plow, and maintain the balance of the yoke, and you're driven by the left, right, he knows how to plow. If you read a book, can you learn plowing? I'm asking. That's what Lord Krishna is explaining to Arjuna. So why we have to listen? It is, I can't. What can I express to Vishnu Devananda Maharaj? So the one who represents that lineage. It is, every word he speaks connects me to my Guru. And I remember what I could do, nothing for him. If at all, if I can do something for them, my heart swells, overwhelms with the gratitude. That's why we feel honored, so to see them is like seeing a family member, representing the same way. Mr. Garote now, he will speak on, Garote. He is a young man, and he is much more known than in India, now in Europe and all, he is much more known. And not many know, actually. He is in the mission of accomplishing his father. So Manohar Garote is very close disciple of the Swami Kuvalayananda. Just down Kuvalayananda, Manohar Garote and son is here. How short the link, that authenticity, the teaching. Shivananda, Vishnu Devananda and now Prahladacha. The link, as the number of teachers increase, as the generations increase, the gene expression changes automatically. How lucky. I am directly with them. And now I am seeing, because I am of the tradition, means I learned something in those years and went on. With their encouragement only I went everywhere. Let me tell you, after attaining the permission from them, now Kumar, you go there and learn. Unless until a teacher authorizes you to go somewhere, you should not leave. That's what Vishnu Devananda Swami Maharaj, the first day he told. Number one, don't stop. Number two is, unless your teacher tells you to go, you will not go. Or if you have to go, you take the permission of your teacher. Then only the teaching works. These are two things he told. Don't stop. Like me, my mission is different. But don't stop, Kumar. You sat with me like I experienced it in the meditation. I am seeing another person sitting here experienced something profound. And explore that method. Go. And who is proficient in that? Who can explore you? Who can guide you further? He sent me to, he did not encourage me to travel with him. I told, no sir, you are very dynamic unlike other gurus, and you are much more, understanding, much more, have ability to speak. And he is really dynamic and inspiring personality, let me tell you. Not at all a serious type personality. Like when you look at Krishnananda Swami Maharaj, or when you look at, of course, Satyananda Saraswati Maharaj, who is working like, so chief accounts, he was also forced to go to the Bihar School of Yoga. Each one of them have a distinct personalities. Actually, the personality, all my mission is, I went to Rishikesh only to grow tall because I was a chubby boy and fatty boy, little boy, I was called, because at that time atom bomb was and all, so that was known as fatty boy, little boy. My cousins used to, bully me, and this. So the disciples of Shivananda Swami Maharaj were invited to Hyderabad, the school where I am studying. And I am very good at serving the lotus field every morning. We used to clean the lotus field and serve them. And that's how I was invited to the Rishikesh. It's not that I never wanted, but Swamiji invited. And that's how I was. So, summer mein aa jao, parts mein shamil karo, hamara course mein. It is upon invitation I went. It's not that I applied something like that. And I asked only Swamiji one thing, whether I will grow tall. He said, no, you will grow tall. That is only the catch for me to go to the Rishikesh, leaving Hyderabad. And Vishnu Devananda Maharaj, because he has shown all asanas, he showed, and very, not other gurus, so not that dynamic like, he has shown all asanas. At that age, you get inspired by looking at the asanas. And he said, so I said, I really loved the asanas. That's how I became fascinated by asanas. So these asanas make me grow tall. No, Mr. Kumar, there he will teach. Well, I will grow tall going to the Bihar School of, yes, he will grow tall. But his mission is different. He understood. Of course, I practiced asana practice, which helped me to grow tall. That's a different issue. But what he meant to say is a spiritual growth. Actually, Swami Satyananda Saraswati, yes, he knows what each one of the disciples is their level. How many gurus we can guide you go to, so this, my friend, so who is under the same teacher. That is a broad-mindedness, each one of the Shivananda disciples. That is a level of encouragement. That is the way they point out your talent. They will be able to explore you than exploit you. I feel even today, my soul bubbles with the gratitude to the Vishnu Devananda Maharaj, because the way those words of those few days with him, it left out. He wrote a letter, personal letter to Satyananda Swami Maharaj. I didn't know because we are not supposed to open. I am very strict follower of Yama Niyama from the day one. And I kept that letter. He just told me, order to go, just that's all I went. And that letter I have shown it to Satyananda Saraswati Maharaj. He read that letter. And he gave the next room to me. Very difficult to get Swamiji's next to room to you. I was a boy. So I thought some recommendation letter for a better room. I told Satyananda Swami Maharaj, I don't want any big room. He said, it's not about the room. Straight away he started me with the meditation. I said, here I thought he will teach me more asanas. And Satyananda Swami Maharaj said, wo bhi seekhoge. That also you will learn. Understand? So now, Kaivalya Dhama. The holistic, we call in India experimental station. Actually, each one of these gurus have actually gave me a different dimension of the Rutam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami. One is the truth, Kena Upanishad talks about. But the most important is a validation of the truth. If you are educated in Kailas Ashram, you will know. No one can cheat you. What is the pramana, how to explore, how to choose a guru, and what is the method, and you will understand. And the Kaivalya Dhamma, way back in 1940s, and you can see the vision. Yes, something science, how we can prove that, so how we can prove it is working for so and so problem. And if at all, if I have to talk, now okay, now we have, H.R. Nagendra and exploring like a university, the different, but a way back, truly experience based. Again, Swami Kuvalyananda is experience in sadhana. made him to choose that place in Lonavala. A typical Maharashtrian. You can see his attire, like a Shivananda Swami Maharaj. You can see his attire, the same. He has not changed the dress, you see, for example. And I'm not saying he has changed the dress, but I'm telling you, Swami Kuvala, you will see a typical Indian dressing. Such a man. And so also his father. So Manohar Garote, you can see the same attire, the same form. Very majestic figure, the Manohar Garote in my mind. Still his figure stands out, my gurus. He is the one who encouraged. One is scripture, manuscript. What is authenticity? Today, our question is, our yoga is questioned. Asana, whether asanas by Indians are copied from Switzerland, copied from Sweden. Norway practice, these are soldier practices. These people way back in 1918, 1920, these people copied from the British, and now they are promoting it as a yoga. Aropana, where is the Nirupana? In yoga method, someone is aropan, someone is telling yoga doesn't belong to India. These people copied and pasted, and they are promoting it as an Indian. Asana, they don't belong to India. You read on Google, you will get now. And they have, so they have their, like Shankaracharya has to go counter, and they have their own arguments based on that. What we practice, of course you can say Pilates belongs to, so the Germans. This is already envisioned. The main thing is, where is this asanas written? Where these asanas pictures are there? What is authenticity that you can claim? This is what, even I asked, what is the authenticity of this flow of asanas? Is there anything? I was only interested in practice, but it used to dawn upon me, is there any authenticity? Is there any scripture where he talks about the flow of asanas? So, the one who explored the authenticity of scriptures, and in that experimentation with a modern validation, is the Kaivalya Dhamma. And his father, Sanskrit scholar. He is a Sanskrit scholar, but he is not just an ordinary Sanskrit scholar. But he worked so hard, let me tell you. He used all his fathers and Kaivalya Dhamma's relationship with all the foreigners only to explore the authenticity of yoga, asanas. One is the book he has written, therapeutic. His father mission he accomplished now. I am very successful, very happy to see the book, what he has contributed, therapeutic asanas. You read those pictures coming from hundreds of years ago, from Thailand, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Japan, China. No other book. I'm telling you, that is a book, you must own it in your library. Because everything, and how many nights he must have spent, and so to write and to translate it in the English. The asanas which you never heard, you will see them. That is what Kaivalya Dhamma collection is all about. And not only he stopped there, Jodhpur library to Chennai library to Varanasi library to which library? Before even the archives, before even modern hardware, software came into the picture. As a son, I think, I really appreciate, because children are normally interested in exploring more of materialistic or enjoying the status. But very committed to the job where there is no remuneration. So Garote, there is no remuneration. His all job is, he wanted to fulfill the mission of his father, guided by his father. And so he is fully into the job, I could understand. Of course, he has a practice. When I talk about his father, it's all about practice. They are born in that family. He is brought up in that family. He is born in that family. And he is brought up in that family. And his every drop of the blood flows in the yoga. The same thing yesterday I was talking to, so the Suresh, now the CEO of the Kaivalya Dhamma, O.P. Tiwari and now the Suresh Tiwari and the Tiwari, the very famous for pranayama techniques, so the exploration, the experimentally proven. Now yesterday was showing what are all the experiments. Of course, much more research happening in Planck's Institute, Cognitive Institute in Switzerland, etc. everywhere, and the Oak Ridge National Laboratory in America. Already they converted into human performance lab, but in India not many people know a human performance lab already established by Kuvalyananda in Kaivalyadhama. I'm telling you, added to that scriptural authenticity. I called both of them, from Kaivalyadhama, because one is experimental station is talking about modern science, and one is talking about ancient scriptures who restored, who spent his whole life into that. He is invited to give a talks, etc. Of course, he is authentic in his what he speaks. He has a pramana, he has a agama with him. He has anumana with him, he has a prachaksha with him, he has a agama with him. If I ask them, where is your agama? He doesn't have. His agama is guru. But you ask him, he will show you the agama. So on our website you will find the collection, the same mission I had. So I sent, including, we sent one of the volunteers to him. She spent considerable time with him. Of course I could not go because of time constraint or whatever it is. But he really helped us. Some of the scriptures what he provided are there on the website. It is for the people to have open access. It is his works. That's why I'm talking about. I'm not going behind. You must have his books in your library. I'm telling you. There are a couple of books. One is about encyclopedia, and one is the therapeutic yoga aspect, the asanas and the shlokas, including the ahara diet. So what this yoga text, traditional yoga text talks about, what the text, and all very well codified. The most modern patterns are followed. I really admire you, Garote sir, for the time you spent, And so now is the time for you. I'm fond of you. You have features of the face from your father, I can tell you. May not be the personality, you look a bit weak, but your father is, so very strong. So maybe much more you are into, so the mind exploration, right? So yeah, is the time I want to give the mic to you. So. I know how busy you are. So please keep it here. Just 1 minute. Students, so yes, and they will watch it. And what I wanted is your voice. The most important is the sound coming from you is the most important. That speaks everything. It is all, so when Nataraja, it is all, Patanjali is born, so Patanjali mission as Adishesha, when you go to Krishnamacharya, you study the prolific story of the Patanjali Mahamuni, Adishesha Avatara, and how he inspired, he wanted to see, actually Lord Nataraja's sound he wanted to restore after the Panini. So that's how the Patanjali is born, and restored the sound of the Shiva, so that's how the Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacha Malan Sharirasya Vaijyakena Cha Yo Pakarottam Pravaram Munenam Patanjali Pranjali Pranatosmi, so how the journey of the Patanjali, how he is a master of the 4 sciences, so now, so the Patanjali, when we talk about, all these are original saligramas actually, so I will give you one. This is the original saligram, you will not find in the world anywhere. The collection of, actually my journey is all Himalayas. All these are the original stones of Himalayas, seat of quartz, 2500 million years. These species, actually you may thinking, these are called, actually entered into, these are all in union, you can see this. If I open it, you can see. They are naturally formed. This is what called as Himalayas, or so these are natural, so once it will open it, it will have chakra naturally driven. When we say Shankha Chakrasi Dharana, this is the chakra which talks about the most auspicious stone, the Himalayas, that because when Shiva gave, Vishnu came, all of them, they went into union. These are the two male and female species, but they went into union and they attained liberation. So that's how the Himalayan one is, this is Saligram, another one is Shankhu. One is actually quartz, means the conch, so which went into transformation, metamorphosis. Quartz means low entropy. All these represent, so the lowest entropy, the purity. So this is a linga, so this is you can see the size of the linga. This is the world largest saligrama. This is from Himalayan belt. If you know in Himalayas, there are very few, actually in Himalayas, there are very, few miners are allowed, not many. These are the collectors in the Himalayas, in the Tibet. They collect and, so they bring. So this is actually the linga when we talk about, because it is the purity. Actually, the linga means a diamond, it has a low entropy, means low prakriti. There is no prakriti. It automatically purifies the environment. That's how the lingas are worshipped. When we look at the Rameshwaram and all, they are actually the lingas. These are the quartz from Himalayas. So that is another quartz. These are all natural quartz. These are called smoky quartz. So these are all grass entrapped. Infinite stone it is called. It can absorb any kind. This is called smoky quartz. It can absorb any kind of the entropy, any kind of the evil in the Tibet, etc. So these are naturally, with the time they formed. So that's how the Himalayas coming home. So now, as he said, Himalayas have to go home. As what Vishnu Devananda Swami Maharaj did. So we have to connect the people to the Himalayas. It's not that people go to the Himalayas now for trekking. No one goes for a spiritual pursuit. So that's why I always say the consciousness of the Himalayas. Look at. These are all this. These are called Tiger Agate. Every Tibetan hangs. My journey went beyond Muktinath, actually Gompa areas, where you have 100,000 caves and all, where rishis meditated. This is every house. This is called Agate Eye actually. It's very famous. In India, it's famous for this. And these are called towers of consciousness. If you look at the gods in Himalayas, so they come like our microwave towers or the mobile towers. Yep. So it is their communication towers of the conscious. That's why Dalai Lama says, it is a center of the consciousness of the universe. So don't disturb it, because it's a very valuable communication channels of them. The low entropy. Even today, the modern chip we say, silica. Well, it is silicon dioxide. It is nothing but a silica, but it is formed by nature. The form is naturally shaped like that. So now the modern, still we are not able to use a silica grain completely. The problem is the programming ability. Now only 25% of a silicon grain we are using. But look at the Himalayas, how these yogis explode, how they have found that is the place of communication, the Kailasa. So this stone comes from the Kailasa. The stone in Kaaba, which is in there, it is said to be from Kailasa. That's called Brahmasthana, which is more than 2,500 million years old in Kaaba. Abraham representatives all. That's why Prophet goes to Kaaba to conquer it. Actually, Prophet went to Munivara. It is Sanskrit name, Munivara. He meditated there, he became saint. He doesn't want to go back to Makkah. But again, Gabriel angel told Prophet, you have to go back to establish, to restore my place. That's how the water, that's called the Jam well, the holy water, holy stone. The stone is believed to be from the Kailas. There's a smoky quartz. Every Muslim goes there and they respect, they touch their head to that. So in Himalayas, the journey, the true journey, so actually when we go, so please keep it. I will give you, but so now, so Garote Sahib, aapki, yeah, I will give you. When you can leave, there is a box in which you will give.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. It's a great honor to come over here and to meet Kumarji. It was really marvelous to hear Prahladji, a great thoughts. And you, both of you, made my work very easy because a lot of points you have covered. Like, I would like to give little shape about that. In the beginning, Kumarji, when I received a call, I really found it is like a divine friendship because you were part of my father. And my father, who started this revival of traditional yoga mission in all over the world through Kaivalya Dhama, because at that time he was working in Kaivalya Dhama. And Swami Kuvalyananda established this institute, Kaivalya Dhama. But then, after retirement from Kaivalya Dhama, he established another institute, which is the Lonavala Yoga Institute in the year 1991. So Kaivalya Dhama is parent institute, and my own institute is the Lonavala Yoga Institute.
Yes.
So when you both were talking about the tradition, yeah, tradition is the backbone of our country. My father was a disciple of Swami Kuvalyananda.
Yes.
You can say father of scientific or modern yoga, because at that time he conducted number of experiments,
I am the beneficiary.
Yeah. And surprisingly, my father was the student.
Yes.
Swami Kuvalyananda conducted all the experiments on him. So he was direct disciple, more than 12 years he worked
Your
with.
father could not get time to do this job what you are doing.
Yeah.
Because he was so into service. As you said, he is a guinea pig.
Yeah.
You know, and he practically makes you practice. He is only the teacher who, like maybe like when you go there, he will be with the students. So like your father, so active, not Opitivari, so but as a practitioner, I'm telling you, your father, I could realize where is the time for him to put something in sitting and writing. That's why I really respect.
So then in the year 1991, this is the blessing to our country that one man institute, we can say.
Yes.
One person is enough to work, and then he accepted this challenge of his master, Swami Kuvalyananda, to collect all the ancient manuscripts and to publish in the form of books.
Yes.
And the master of Swami Kuvalyananda is Madhavdas Maharaj. And Madhavdas Maharaj was a great master, number of miracles. Because when I was working for my PhD, my topic was contribution of Swami Kuvalyananda to the fields of yoga and physical education. I found miraculous experiences. So I found that at the age of 121 years, in 1921, Madhavdas Maharaj ji left his body. And prior to that 2 years, Swami Kuvalyananda met and he transferred everything to Swami Kuvalyananda. But he said, maybe yoga is a spiritual thing, but you have to spread this on the base of scientific, because this era, this century is scientific era. So that's why he explained on scientific line. But then my father as a disciple, from the guidance from Swami Kuvalyananda, he worked over there. He traveled extensively all over the world, and it was the mission to revive the ancient tradition. And I'm very happy. Why I'm telling, I'm continuing same thread which Prahlad Acharya ji, you said, and Kumarji. So when we talk about tradition, basically, moreover, it's very ancient. Like I'm talking about only my father and Swami Kuvalyananda and Madhavdas Maharaj ji.
But yes.
He said about another tradition. Number of traditions are there.
Yes.
But the source,
Yes.
we have to understand that source. And basically when we talk about tradition, there are 3 different traditions you find in India. One is called subtle tradition. Another is called oral tradition. And third is called written tradition. There are 3 traditions. What is subtle tradition? Subtle tradition means the master, the guru, only touches the disciple, only remember the disciple, only gazing the disciple, and knowledge is transferred. What a fantastic powers they were having. But then still some part it is there. The oral tradition means the master used to guide. As you said, your master, he was guiding you. As you said, your master. So this is called oral tradition. And the third tradition, which is called, because most of the people, they are not part of tradition. So what to do? So all the great masters, they have written everything in the form of manuscripts, and that's why this written tradition is there. So three different traditions are there. One is subtle, another is oral, and third is written. Now, the problem in this modern world is, to understand real kind of yoga, there are only two ways. One is tradition, or another is ancient literature.
Yes.
I am very happy when I heard that someone is doing great work on traditional yoga. Because you know what is going on nowadays in the world.
Yes, yes.
People are running behind short-term gains and they forget everything.
Yes.
What is the aim of, what is the purpose of the life?
Correct.
And then, this is the third. And my father started collecting all the ancient manuscripts through this Lonavala Yoga Institute, which is different than Kaivalya Dham. And number of publications we have published. So now, most of the people, if they are not part of any kind of tradition, what to do? If they are not having guru, what to do? Because you cannot search your guru. If you develop, guru will search you. So, what to do then? So then, the tradition available is now, which is called written tradition. And we are having largest database, and it is an honor to show some of the ancient manuscripts to you, and you will enjoy it. So these are the manuscripts written by all the great masters, and by which we are capable to understand today what yoga is exactly. So these are, like I would like to show the ancient manuscripts written by all the great masters. But we don't know what is written over there. Another problem is we don't know the language. The third important problem is, this is written in Dvibhasha. The external meaning is different and internal meaning is totally different. Why they kept this? Because if you have gone through different ancient texts, they have written Hata Vidya Param Gopyaha. You have to keep it always secrecy.
Secret.
You will enjoy, and then I will speak about. Please, just enjoy, and I will just speak about that.
Yes.
So here, now the question comes, what is the use of this ancient literature in this modern era? Some people, they always ask. And so to understand what is the importance of this ancient literature in modern era, we have to understand first what is modern era. And what is modern era? Modern era means we are having every prosperity, but still we feel we are not happy. So externally prosperity is there, internally peace is not there. Material prosperity is there, inward peace is lacking. And due to that, number of diseases we have to suffer, as you were talking about therapeutical aspect. Why those manuscripts are important? Because it is the base of yoga. For example, applied yoga, base is ancient literature. For example, therapeutic yoga, base is ancient manuscript. For psychological treatment, base is manuscript. So, number of people now in this world, they are having everything. Still they feel something is lacking. And that's why they start searching what is the real happiness, what is the real joy, what is the real bliss. But they don't know the reason, and that's why, sorry to say, number of people are suffering with the different psychological diseases. The biggest problem today is called frustration. What is frustration? Psychologists made the definition very beautifully, but it is difficult to understand. What they say? They said frustration is a state of disparity between level of expectations and level of achievement. What is the simple meaning of that? In simple words, we can say that whatever I want, I am not getting, and whatever I got, I don't want. So the gap between want and get, if it is bigger, then we have to suffer with psychological problems. So that's why what is to be done today, and all the ancient literatures they are talking about. If you talk what is the modern message from ancient literature, then I would like to say what they say. We know ancient texts, they are talking about different definitions are there. For example, yoga, chitta vritti nirodha, and number of definitions are there. But there are, what is the modern definition of yoga? And I would like to tell the modern definition of yoga is to achieve integration of personality. What is this integration of personality? If the modern definition of yoga is integration of personality, we have to understand properly what is integration of personality. So in this definition, there are two terms. One is integration, another is personality. Then what is integration? Integration means when you want to achieve success in any of the work, different aspects are there which should work harmoniously with each other. For example, you organize this course over here, everything is there, and the lock is there but you don't have the key. So you cannot say key is very small. So integration means what? All the aspects should work harmoniously. This integration we have to achieve of what? And this integration we have to achieve of personality. There are 5 aspects of personality, which is physical, mental, emotional, social and spiritual. As you said correctly, Acharya ji, that it is nothing to do with body. It is more beyond body. It is not physical. It is psychophysical in nature. And then it is a body, mind and soul, the combination. This philosophy, as you quoted and said by Swatma Rama of Hatha Pradipika, as you said. But you will be surprised to hear, Prahlad Acharya ji, while working on the manuscript, I found one manuscript. I don't know you are aware of or not. The manuscript was Goraksha Siddhanta Sangraha.
Yes.
In that manuscript, they have mentioned Hatha Pradipika contains 10 chapters and not 4 or 5 chapters. And while going on, luckily, I found that manuscript in Jodhpur and published in the form of book. Also, I found that one commentary, ancient commentary written by Balakrishna, and this is because if you find ancient commentary on any of the original text, it is something great, marvelous. So we have included that as well. You were talking about pranayama. You will be surprised again to tell. We found one manuscript, Kumbhaka Paddhati of Raghuvira. If you ask to the people how many pranayamas are there, they will say Surya Bhedana, Ujjayi, Shitali, Shitkari, Basrika, Brahmari, Ashta Kumbhakaha. We will be surprised. We found one manuscript, more than 50 pranayamas are there. Yes. What a rich tradition we have. Yes. Up till now, people were aware only that Ashtanga Yoga is the part of Patanjali Yoga. You will be surprised to hear number of Hatha Yogic texts they are talking about. For example, I was working on Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati 1000 years back. A great master Gorakshanath has written this. You find Ashtanga Yoga. For example, 500 years old Hatha Tattva Kaumudi written by Sundaradeva. You find Ashtanga Yoga. It's like an encyclopedia of Hatha Yoga. Then Hatha Pradipika with 10 chapters, you will find Ashtanga Yoga. And beautiful 2 chapters you will find Kala, Jnana and Videha Mukti. We say today's science is the science, but today's science, with due respect, I would like to say, has limitations, but ancient science not having any kind of limitation. That's why it is called wisdom. Yes. So this ancient literature is very, very important. Now, as you were talking about, luckily I am having that book, you were talking about encyclopedia. What is the beauty of this book? Because nowadays, Acharya ji, you also explained that people consider asana just as a physical acrobatic, sorry to say. But people, they don't know. Modern teachers are deprived with the knowledge of yoga. They consider yoga just as physical acrobatic, just for gaining weight and losing weight. Maybe it is just body. But what about all other 5 aspects of personality? Physical, mental, emotional, social and spiritual. What is the purpose of yoga? The purpose of yoga is to achieve coordination between all the 5 aspects of personality. Some are maybe physically fit, but not mentally. Some are mentally fit, maybe not emotionally. Some are emotionally fit, but not physically. Some are physically fit, but not socially. They don't know how to behave. Some are physically fit, but not spiritually. Why yoga? Yoga is to achieve integration between all the 5 aspects of personality. So when you perform asana, you perform through body to give training to your mind. That's why it is not physical, it is psychophysical. Yes, when you perform pranayamas through breathing, you want to give higher, definitely higher purposes are there, maybe like a kundalini and chakras and lot of things and siddhis. But at very gross level, like And that's why they say, people up till now, they are not capable to understand. They mentioned in ancient texts, pranayamena patakam. To remove your sins, it is important.
Vina mantre na pranaya.
Yes, so number of things. But I will take this opportunity because time is very short, and in the conference I would like to speak something about. But it's a great opportunity, Acharyaji, to show this book, encyclopedia. I am having only one book today. Yeah, but
I already have.
So because other books are not possible to bring.
No, sir.
So number of things are there. I will definitely send
You
all
are
the books to you.
introduced, so people will.
So when I was working on this was the dream of Swami Kuvalayananda. He thought that we should, collect some authentic sources.
Yes.
Up to 66, Swami Kuvalayananda worked for this. Unfortunately, on 18th April, Swami Kuvalayananda left his body. The dream, which was seen by Swami Kuvalayananda, my father thought to complete it as a offering.
Yes.
He worked up to 2005, and 17 January 2005 he left the body. Now the dream which was seen 3 generations back, divinity just forced me to do this. You will be surprised. Now if you see this book, near about 250 manuscripts we used for this book. And for example, you open any of the page, you will find the reference of the asana. For example, in which manuscript you will find this?
Yes.
If I ask to the people, because whole world is watching, if I ask them how many Padmasanas you find, more than 100 types of Padmasanas are there.
Yes.
How many Shirshasanas you know? Authentic.
Yes.
Not invented by me or anyone.
Yes.
It is in the manuscript. More than 60 types of, So more than 1,000 asanas with authentic sources we have. So this is the largest data.
And one asana, and with all the references. Which book from?
And with the reference, with the manuscript, not from the book, with the ancient manuscripts. So whatever reference we want. For example, modern teachers, they are teaching. Fine, they are teaching this asana should be performed. So as a student, I have rights to ask, fine sir, but can you show me the reference about this? In which manuscript we find this? Such references we have to understand, and that is the purpose. This is very unique book, and hundreds of cross references to ascertain validity, to check comparison and distinction,
But you
to establish relationship between two asanas, for grouping and classification, also to find different synonyms of the asanas. Because sometimes you give some another name, you know another name. What is the
text,
relationship?
yes.
So like that. So here, if you see the largest introduction is there. These are all number of manuscript we have used, and abbreviation is there. If you see here, now these are the English terminology for Sanskrit asana terms. For example, here, from all the debris we collected, all the temples, they were destroyed, and we collected all the photographs from here. These are all the photographs. Then this from China, this is from Thailand, this is from Tibet, and this is from different miniatures you find here. So all such things are here. What I want to say, without authenticity, we should not consider the thing. And if authenticity is not there, then we are lacking something. So the base of today's mission of yoga started well back in different yugas, you can say. And this tradition flows from different yugas, and today we are. Thanks to the Natha Sampradaya, because at that time the situation was very difficult.
I think
and
you have to, I request sir, one thing we have to write about this, because the Kapalikas and so Kaulikas and so the when you go into Himalayas, the Bhairavas,
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So this tradition, one book on the tradition, please try to.
We have published one book of Gorakshanatha himself.
Yeah, I have seen.
That is called, no, number of books of Gorakshanatha, but I would like to mention this.
Okay.
This is called, Acharyaji, this is called Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati.
Yes.
Remarkable book. What is the importance of this book? Because everyone is talking about there is a relationship between Pinda and Brahmanda, like microcosm and macrocosm. Now modern theory is also talking about. But way long back, our great seers, masters, maharshis, they mention everything.
Yes.
This book is remarkable, and this book is Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati. Huh? What is the Paddhati and what?
Some another name also is there, no sir? Yes, sir.
Number of books are there. I am talking about this special book.
Yeah.
Like different books are there. I found due to blessings number of manuscripts of Natha, and which are only one page manuscript, you can say, which are called as Natha Vakyas. Vakya means the sentence. Very small manuscripts, but you open whatever you want. As per your experience, as per your insight, as per your anubhuti, it is possible to. So I was talking about this Siddha Siddhanta Paddhati. And this text is talking about relationship between Pinda and Brahmanda. What is the relationship between Pinda and Brahmanda? Whatever you will find in Brahmanda, the universe,
Yes.
you will find everything in Pinda, the body,
Yes.
in tiny or very small form. So, if everything is outside, present in inside, what you are doing outside then? Try to understand your body. Once you are capable to understand your body, you will understand every fundamental principle which is there. And that is the reason why Natha Sampradaya is talking about practice, practice and practice.
Yes. That is the basis of.
That is the
actually-
basis of.
Yes.
And then, interesting thing I would like to tell in this text, there are 6 different chapters. Pindotpatti, origin of the body. Pinda Vichara, then how many bodies are there? Pindotpatti, Pinda Vichara, Pinda Samvitti. Tell me exactly I have how many bodies are there? Huh? I am sitting here or you are sitting here and you remember your office in Himalayas. Who has gone there? So subtle body is there. So number of bodies are there, and that is another topic. Sometimes we will discuss about that because it's very difficult coming from Guru Sampradaya. Then Pindotpatti, Pinda Vichara, Pinda Sampitti, Pinda Dhara. Who is the substratum? Who is the supporter of this body? If I am capable to understand that supporter who is supporting my body, and if I am capable to control over that supporter, I am the master. Who is that Shakti? And they say it is called Nija Shakti. Nija Shakti came out from Anama, from Lord Shiva. I was very happy when you started with Om Namah Shivaya. Anama, and Natha Sampradaya says Adi Natha is the master. Vedanta says something different, but names are different.
Yeah, Tantra.
Yeah, different.
Yes, good.
And that's why then Samarasa, Pindotpatti, Pinda Vichara, Pinda Samvitti, Pinda Dhara, Samarasa. Can it be possible if both principles are same? Can it be united? Can it be yuja? Can it be union? And then if it is Samarasa, equipoise, togetherness, then Avadhuta, the ultimate state is realization. Definitely, this is very difficult text, but such literature we have. And that is the beauty.
I always tell the students actually the Nepal kingdom, so it was cursed actually because the Nepal king killed all the snakes. Then the snakes are very powerful, so they cursed. So the people in Nepal went into completely trance. So then they engaged Gorakhpur, Gorakhnath basically. So the present chief minister comes from actually the dynasty. So the king approached Gorakhnath has designed the entire Kathmandu. The Pashupatinath temple, Bhairavas, and entire Kirtipur Bhakti. It's a perfectly actually a designed city by a yogi. That is a Gorakhnath.
So great master, and at that time, 10th century, 1000 years back approximately, his eternal principle. But still somewhere we want some references. So 1000 years back, when number of texts he has written, and at that time the situation was very difficult. Hatha Yoga, very ancient, but distorted by some of the people at that time also. So it was the need that someone should systematize this Hatha Yoga. And Gorakshanath took birth and he systematized. Maybe Goraksha Paddhati, Goraksha Shataka, Amaraugha Prabodha,
Many
Siddha
books.
Siddhanta Paddhati.
I think
Such texts are there.
The maximum number of books by Goraksha still available.
And from the Natha tradition, Natha Sampradaya as well.
Yes.
So that is the beauty, and we have to understand those traditional understandings.
Absolutely.
And I'll get opportunity to speak much. Maybe in the conference time is always
No,
short.
You must.
It is honor.
This is a way to show, because of seeing is a believing, I always tell. Because when I went to the Himalayas, so as Dalai Lama says, every monastery, when you book, there is a room. So like this, everything is written. Entire Nalanda repository, Nyingma tradition, which is actually yoga. In that, the 6th and 7th traditions are Nyingma tradition. They are pure Yogacara tradition. Actually, Yoga Sutras of the Patanjali comes from them. They have clearly laid down like this. And the monks because the previous retreat, now just we concluded in summer, we conducted in Spiti. Spiti is originally place where Krishnamacharya went to and learned yoga for 6 years. And that is the oldest monastery. And once upon a time it belongs to Tibetan kingdom. But now after separation it came down to us. And still you walk in over there. So they read, the monks' name is to every day they envelope open like this and they keep it there. 24/7 the chanting tradition goes, scriptures. They are there since centuries only to preserve. That's what Dalai Lama said, before I leave, please, this is your yoga technologies. Please take over. And he has written a letter to Modi sir, but Modi has not shown any interest. Actually, we talk about yoga. They said, we kept your yoga tradition. Since Nalanda, from Takshashila they came to Nalanda. And from Indus they went to Takshashila, Takshashila to the Nalanda, Nalanda to now Tibet. It has changed the Tibet. Earlier we used to Mongolians, like typical terrorists. But now it has changed us. You can see the effect of it. So please take it. So I mean, take this, similarly in the Tibetan language. Yes.
So this is the base of everything. No one can challenge it. And it is our wisdom.
Yes.
And people from all over the world, they want this wisdom and we are there to share.
Yes.
As you said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam.
Yes.
We are there to share.
Yes.
And I feel like it is going on live.
Yes.
I really would like to tell all the people, just be a part of this revival of traditional yoga mission.
Yes.
You can visit the website www.lonavlayoga.org. Again I said www.lonavlayoga.org. And please visit the website, see beautiful, all the ancient texts. You will enjoy. And one more thing I would like to tell you, like when I was working, as you said, mind, everyone is talking about mind, everyone is telling yoga has chitta vritti nirodha. And the thought came, to control the mind is the aim. What will happen after controlling the mind? Then I thought I would not be the first person to think about. All the great masters were there. And then I started searching the manuscripts. You won't believe, I found 18th manuscript of Amanaska Yoga, the beyond mind. Very difficult text, but this is the wisdom. So I would like to say only one thing. I'll speak much over there, but only finally I would like to quote that when all the great masters, they have mentioned everything, the purpose of yoga was to Swaswarupa Yoga, to understand your true nature. Because the base of every master was, we are not physical being having spiritual experiences, we are spiritual being getting experiences at body level. That is our true nature. So people, all the great masters, they invented this. Then changes or dilution started. I don't know. Then people started using Swaswarupa Yoga at Adhyatmika Yoga to understand spiritual truth. Then people started understanding yoga at intellectual. That's why they named as Buddhi Yoga. And as we started going away from our true nature, number of diseases were knocking on our door and need of the therapy at that time. That's what Chikitsa Yoga. And then I don't know what happened. Vyayama yoga and exercise yoga and spardha yoga and competition, I don't know. We are going really towards the tradition or we are going away the tradition. This, if you people are watching, I really would like to tell you that try to understand what is the purpose of yoga. Yoga is very noble subject sent to us by all the great masters, and if we are not capable to promote, it doesn't matter, but at least we should not distort this yoga. With this word, time is very short, but some other day definitely we will meet together. Again we discuss about lot of topics which are mentioned in all the ancient texts. This is like a curtain raiser, you can say, like just information about this. It is a great honor for me. Please join this revival of traditional yoga by any means. Just support is there. We have to continue this mission of revival of traditional yoga. Dear friends, this is the base of yoga and we have to understand this base. It's an honor for me. Acharya ji is here. Great to meet you. First time I'm meeting. Hope to meet you again several times. Kumar ji, it's a divine bond with you and I hope we will meet again. Today we are meeting for this conference over there, and it is possible to speak much about this and to enlarge all such topics over there. Thank you very, very much. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.
Thank you, Garudas. Thank you very much. That is what his father is, purely experimentalist, and
Honor.
yes, please give this.
It's an honor for me, Acharya ji. Please accept it.
Please.
It is not my work.
I have this.
It is a divine work. You know that.
Yes.
It will be helpful for you. Thank you very much.
It needs because it has authenticity.
I will give another to you. Yeah.
No issue.
May I remove it?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll meet.
That is Vishnu Devananda Swami Maharaj, biography. Legacy. We have one book, yes. Garudaji, this is the scripture which we completed actually in a bold text.
Om Namo Bhagavate
Yeah,
Vasudevaya.
Vasudeva. This is a Kapala Kurantaka Yoga. This is a yes. Yeah, he was. When I met him, he was slim.
It's the same Swami we are met.
Yes. That is the, yes, so we have a small presentation to give it to you. And, because I want to give the Himalayas, these are the original what people ask by. There's 100% spatica, it is pure quartz from Himalayas, people get from African source. This is called, which is famous, Aghate, means in depth. Aghate means it is, all these are, say, infinite micro towers of consciousness. And this is called tiger eye. This is called Sulakshana Shila. Every Tibetan holds it. Is called, Muslims call it as a Suleiman Hakik. It protects from. So please have it. And one Japamala also we want to give you. So because you do Japa in Vishnu Devananda. This is a pure 100% Himalayan Japamala. So please make use of it. Yeah, this is a space element from Himalayas. It is a blue agate it is called. So this is for you. Similarly for Garote, For my gurus, I could not give anything but here. This is, it is a Sulakshana Shila, this is a Spatika here. And this is pure, so from Himalayan origin. The advantage going exploring the Himalayas are, yes. You are exploring the text. I have explored virtually, actually practically every valley 2,500 kilometers depth, breadth. into Tibet. Actually, it is what you get why Himalayas are famous. Actually, when we go into the Gompa area,
Other things, books you will get from Lonavala, I'll send whole set to you, no question about. This is a small gift to you. You will enjoy this.
yeah, I enjoy your presence, Garote.
Always.
And,
It's honor, you know.
Yes, because I know your father. I sent to that person with confidently. You go and meet Junior Garote.
In fact, today was a seminar in Argentina. So I thought whether I'll get this internet, then it's fine. So it was there, and
Now
then
you-
I told I'm coming at 7 o'clock. No, but then I postponed it. I told yesterday not possible. So I'm here enjoying.
If you want to use this facility, you can
Everything
use
is
it.
everything is fine. Because it's like in every country we are just
I know, sir. I know you how. You're connected.
humble service to every country
No,
to
no,
spread
no.
this real wisdom.
Yes. Actually, that revival of the scriptures is very important. I tell you.
Acharya ji, nice to meet you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namah Shivaya.
Sir, this Saligram, Garote, sir. This.
Center in Chennai.
Gopan ji.
Oh,
And he was also with Swami Vishnu Devananda, assisting
I
with
see.
traveling together.
Oh, very nice.
He's there with us way back from 1987.
Very nice. I thought.
Yeah, thank you.
Please, I could have made you after the seat here.
I'm not having my maybe card.
Feel honored, so we will meet there today. Huh?
So,
So very nice meeting.
We'll see some
Yes. Yeah, you can. So this is actually the original made as per the Agama in Swami Malai. That is a place where still Agama of the sculpture exists. Agama of the sculpture.
And we would like you to come to our ashram. I'll send you an invitation.
Yes.
In fact, every January I organize this big workshop. People from all over the world they come. It is a death anniversary of my father, 17 January. So my personal interest is there because of this. So people from all over the world they come, and then we travel number of places. This time we organized to Amritsar and Delhi and Agra like. But definitely next year, after 17 January, 18 to 25, if divinity permits, we'll be there.
We'll host you. We'll be happy to host you. It's all, we are all one family. so it's no problem.
Yeah.
Definitely we'll connect. And after this, this because it is already chalked out this year, January, but next year, 24, definitely. It's honor, sir. Yeah.
This. Even a small one you have, still it is worth, let me tell you. Even you will not get. It is. But please take care of it. It is very well initiated, very well energized. So it's a very, and the Tibetan lamas, so it is, they have done. Everything here is, so all these are given by the Tibetan lamas actually. There are more than 500, 600 old. I went explored, sir, went beyond, so because
I
went
see
into the much deeper level. Into
You
the,
found whole manuscript of this Kapal Kuranda
Yes.
Whole manuscript.
Yes. So you can read. It is a complete manuscript. I knew, still in the there you are there. Second version will be yours.
I'm having those manuscripts with me.
Yeah, with you.
Kapal Kuranda.
Very
That's
nice.
why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think you.
Let us, we'll discuss
yeah,
about
please. Yeah, you are the validator, sir, for us.
Come here. Let us take one photo with him.
I'm humbled with your presence, sir.
It is honor always.
We're exploring much more scientific ways, sir, actually.
You also come. Someone will take your photograph of it. Please.
Yeah, our cameraman will take and Amarendra will send it to our WhatsApp.
Thank you.
Actually, we are creating a studio.
This is a rosewood, actually made from Kerala it is, and these are all bronze and brass, so from Swami Malai.